Here's a question before you watch this video. When you drive your early model, I don't know, CJ5, CJ7, when you go in the curves, is it all over the road? I mean, is there slack and you trying to fight it this way and fight it back that way? Well, mine is, and I'm going to show you one of the problems. Now, I put a new steering box in here, tie rod ends, everything I seen it was bad, but it still had a lot of slack. And then I noticed something. All right, now what I want you to do is keep an eye on this thing right here and watch it. I'm gonna go up there and turn the steering wheel. Watch it and see what it does. Now that thing there, it has to move all the way to the side before the steering wheel actually starts to turn the wheel. So when you go left and right, it's going from here, you'll see it, watch, from here to there before the steering wheel actually starts to turn the wheel. That gives you slack in your wheel. I'm gonna show you how to fix it today. If you can see, I jacked it up. I jacked it up right there by the nut, put a little board in there so that nut wouldn't dig into my rubber pad. Make sure you got your emergency brake on, put in gear or something, chock it with wood, something. But we're just barely jacking it up. What you want to see, you want to jack it up until you see this nut just move down just a little bit to where it don't have pressure on it. You'll see it'll be up here. Then all of a sudden you hit that jack one time, you'll see it just drop just a little. And so you want to kind of center it in that hole to where it don't have no pressure on this leaf spring pushing on that. And then what you got, what I got, and you probably got too, this is a 11/16 on the nut side, and then a 5/8 on the bolt side. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna take, you don't have to take the tire off or nothing. My advice, leave the tire on it. That way if something falls, it's on the tire, it don't go to the ground. All you're doing is taking a little bit of weight off of it to get this off. There, she's out. These are actually aftermarket. They're a little bit longer to get the vehicle up a little bit higher. See, we're all 3 minutes into it. Set these over here. Now all I gotta do is probably get me a hammer, tap this thing. All right, she should knock on out. All right, it's out. Let me show you what the problem is, and it's gonna be obvious. Here's the bottom one on the leaf spring. Look, that should be a rubber bushing in there, and this bushing, metal bushing should be right in the middle of it. Look, it's just sitting in there. Now the top one, let me get, I can find it. Okay, there it is. Now the top one is just beat up on this side, but on that side, if you look, you can see, I mean, it's just wore out, you know. This thing, 1975, 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2050. That's like 40 years ago. All right, if you look at this bushing, the rubber part is out. The metal's still in there. But you see, it's wore on this bottom side here. See how it's beat up and thinned out? I'm gonna take my little grinder, run it up in there, and just grind through that bottom, give me a little slack in that metal bushing, because it is rusted. I mean, it's been in there, it's rusted all the way around here. You know, if I get some slack in there, I can tap it here and tap it there and get a little slack in it, maybe just knock it on out. All right, what I have on here, this is just a little air tool, and it has just a little grinder bit on the end. Now this is a good one. I got it from Snap-on. I probably had it 30 years and it still cuts. So, I mean, get you a good one. It'll last you forever. You know, spend a little bit of money. But I'm gonna take that and just run it through that hole and clean it out. I ground me a little groove in it, then I just took my hammer and my chisel and basically where that groove was, I tapped it up, got on this side, tapped it up a little bit, and did the same thing to the other side. So now it's got a little play in it. Now I'm gonna get my chisel, hopefully, hit it on the edge, knock it right through. We're gonna find out. There she is in all her nasty glory. This one's ready for a new bushing. I'm gonna run something in there and clean that hole out real good. Put a little grease in it, slide the bushing in it. But first, that's just one. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to know the truth about it, I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 bushings in this thing. Now, the other ones are wore out too, but once I show you how to do these two, all the other ones are the same way. Just repeat the same process. I know what you're thinking, Joe. I don't have one of them. That thing costs money. But you can actually take a hacksaw, like a little bit smaller blade or a regular hacksaw maybe, stick the blade in there, hook the hacksaw back on it, and just cut it. What you want to do is put a groove in it, give you enough room to collapse that thing. All right, I got a new plan to get these bushings out. First, the smaller inside brass bushing, I'm gonna take the original bolt, I'm gonna stick it back in the hole and use it to push with on this vise. It's only gonna push it in the depth of that bolt, but once I take it back off, that'll give me enough room to stick a socket in there and the socket stays centered while I push it on out. Anyhow, stick the bolt back in it, hook this on the back side, put this on the front side, and then take it, once you get it tight to the bolt, put your ratchet on it, shove it all the way till you hit. Then you might just give it a whack just to shock it a little bit. All right, now take your bolt back out, get you a socket. All right, there we go, right there. Get you a socket that'll fit up in that hole. And that thing is pushed just far enough out so that socket can fit up in that hole about 1/8, 1/4 inch. And it won't be trying to slide. I mean, if you have two people, it's a whole different deal than one person trying to do this. Good on the back side. Now, I'm gonna crank this puppy on out quick. Huh. All right. Now my socket's stuck in there. Get that socket out. We'll put extension on this side. See if I can. All right, the center part's out. This one here is a little different. Somebody's got a little washer built onto that little shaft in there. I'm gonna have to do the same thing, run the grinder down the center, but I may have to take a grinder and grind that washer off, either that or try to knock it out the other way. But it's gonna take a little bit. All right, I have ground off all that. There was this one had an actual washer on the end of the shank. I don't know if somebody changed it out or what. But anyhow, I ground it off and got back to the regular deal, and then I cut a groove in it. Now it looks like I'm just gonna be able to tap this out. Now my camera conked out on me, but what I wound up doing, I put that socket up against it. Then I put the clamp on it, put that socket up against that bushing, and just shoved it through like I did that bottom one. I don't know why I thought it was recording, but it wasn't. But anyhow, it's all out. That one's all out. I'm gonna take me a little wire brush and clean them holes out. Now these here are the bushings I decided to buy. I bought them on eBay, so just go on there and look. But the name brand is Energy Suspension, and that's the part number right there. Shit, 2.2101R. 2.2101R. Now these fit mine. Make sure these are the ones that fit yours. But anyhow, these are the polyurethane. They're a little bit tougher than the rubber. They're a little more denser. So, I mean, race cars and all that stuff, they all use polyurethane bushings. I got one here that's already open. And it even comes with a little pack of silicone grease, I guess. It comes with the bushing, then it comes with the bushing, rubber bushing, or polyurethane bushing, and then the brass bushing that goes in it. Put a little bit of this grease on all of it, because that thing really, every time your suspension moves, it kind of needs to rotate with it a little bit. I'm just going to take a little on my pinky and run it up in that hole and rub it around. This is kind of sticky stuff, more like it's more like a silicone and a grease. I'm not for sure exactly what it is. Anyhow, I'm going to slide a little bit in there, slide a little bit on this bushing. And I think the last time we put these in my buddy's Jeep, I think we shoved and put a little bit in this hole. I ain't for sure. I think we shoved this in there. No, hold on. I think we shoved this in there. Shoved that bushing in, and then shoved the brass bushing in. It's all sticky, that's all I know. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can hold that. That one sure slides easy. A little slicky on the inside of the bushing. I'm gonna slide it in, but I'm gonna leave it. Now, all right. Yeah, that thing just hangs out a little bit on both sides. All right, them bushings are in. Those bushings are in, and they're tight. Now, ain't nothing left to do but put this bracket back on there. And get that on there just so she don't go nowhere. Yeah, oh yeah. Now these are special nuts. They're made not to back off. So if for some reason you have to buy new nuts and bolts, make sure you buy these locking nuts. They're tapered a little bit on the end so they squeeze and they won't loosen up and fall off on you. All right, I'll get this, tighten this joker up. Before you tighten it up, let the jack down, let all the weight of the vehicle on the bushings. That way they'll roll to the position where they're usually going to sit at, and then you tighten them. If you tighten them while it's jacked up, well, that leaf spring will be twisted like this, that bushing twisted like that. If you tighten it, whenever you let the jack down, it's going to go the opposite. It's going to go like this, but it's going to put tension in there on them bushings. You want that bushing to be non-tensioned when it's sitting level with weight on it, and then the tension comes when it hits bumps. So I'm gonna let the jack down, tighten them up. See how far thing move? Now that's there. Find my wrenches again. I can tighten her up. Done deal. Only problem I got when I was doing it, I looked at my frame. I'll try to get a shot of it. The frame has a little bit of a crack right there where that top bracket is, which is giving it some little sway to it, little weakness point. Let me see if I can. See that crack running all the way through there? That is one of the major problems. The other side, I think it's good. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have to take the bumper off and weld that up. And what I'll probably do, you've seen them box frames. I might just weld me a plate from here to here to stiffen that up right there. And that may make it a little stronger too. But my welder's in Shreveport and I'm here, so I just have to bring it back and weld that up. I can still get it all put back together, but that's gonna have to be addressed for sure. Let's see if we made any difference. Now I know it's gonna be a little bit of flex because of that broke weld spot over there, but let's see if it got any tighter. You can see how crooked that bolt is on the top, and then the top bolt's on one side and the bottom bolt's on the other side of the line. The new one, it has a little bit of movement, but a lot of that movement is just the truck moving side to side from the wheel being turned, if you look at it closely. A whole lot of it's gone. There's still a little bit, I see at that top, just a little bit. And then that side over there where the weld is broke, I see some movement, and that one's actually at a tilt. I don't know, maybe when I weld it up, I'll pull it straight and then weld it up and put me a brace in there or something. But I think it's gonna be probably about 90% better than it was, especially once I get that little bit of welding done and braced up. Hell, it might be 100%. If you would, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm about 150 subscribers shy where I'd really like to be right now. But I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to my channel. And I hope y'all enjoy these videos. And I hope you learn something from them. That's my main mission, is to, we all learn from them. Even me, I'm learning as I'm going too. And hopefully I'll save y'all from making some mistakes like I have. But anyhow, thanks a lot.